Hey guys, so I have a pretty simple topic this week, which is just sort of to talk about things that I'm opinionated about, or a thing that I'm opinionated about. In this case, I'm sort of just gonna ask a question. Why are people just so damn rude? Really in the broad sense of, why are people mean to me, or why are people rude to me? It's more just like, why are people just in general so like about everything? Like, on the street, if someone bumps into you, no one says, "Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry." They just barrel on with their day. If you sort of are at a Starbucks, no one sort of says thank you for their coffee. I was raised by a mother from the South, as a well-mannered young lady. So, I mean, I've just always been taught, say your please and thank you. In reality, like, didn't you learn that in kindergarten? Didn't you go to preschool? Like, you say please and thank you. And I think that applies to a lot of things, just sort of general disposition, and being nice to people. People aren't fortunate enough to have gone to kindergarten or to go to a preschool. Maybe they don't have parents, maybe they're living on the street. There are a lot of people who are significantly poorer off than you are, and who don't have, or who would love the luxury of sort of being able to say please and thank you, or being able to be nice and not having to sort of work through the pain of hunger or worry about where they're going to sleep tonight. It's just sort of, it's unnecessary that you be so inconsiderate of the people around you, or just sort of unkind, unconscientious. When you sort of the next day are advocating for like an end to world hunger, I think people sort of are subconsciously or consciously a little bit hypocritical in their behavior in that regard. So that's something that I'm opinionated about, just because I think it's important to say please, and I think it's important to give someone a smile, and to be nice and considerate, just for all intents and purposes. Maybe that's just me being sort of like, why can't we all just get along? And may really annoy you when you're watching this. But I think to a certain extent it's true, and I think that you should, or not you, I'm not like saying you, the viewer, listen to me, but people in general should just be more thankful of what they have and more aware of the people around them who don't. I'm certainly guilty of not always following through with that. I'm very guilty of that sometimes, but it's something that I think about and try to actively avoid, sort of in general. And I just like to be nice. Like, just of the people around me. I'm not the nicest girl in the world. I do my fair share of complaining. I think everyone does. But about things that really count, you should be grateful for. And just sort of in everyday life, I think everyone is annoyed sometimes. There's a girl at school who just may bother you to death, and you may complain about her, and you may not want to be nice to her. And that's sort of a different issue entirely, and one that I can be somewhat hypocritical on sometimes. But I think that you sort of, in a general sense, that's not really what I'm talking about. I'm talking about people's demeanor in everyday life, and towards people who aren't necessarily their friends, or people who they don't necessarily know on a personal basis. That's really just my 2 cents. I hope you're not terribly bored by this video, or sort of think that I'm being incredibly obnoxious by not addressing more important themes, like the rest of the girls. We've all sort of had such wonderful things to say all week. But this is something that's been on my mind, and I hope that you enjoyed and sort of can take something, however little, away from what I'm saying. So, have a good week, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.